Alrighty, this is Whitney Lewis, the District Manager for the Coos County Conservation District. I'm here at Riverstone Farm in West Milan with Jesse Payne, and Mary Tishy and their family. And they're going to talk to us a little bit about their Climate Resilient Grant Award that they got last year. And first, you guys, it's great to see you. And do you mind telling me a little bit about your farm, a history?
Sure. Our farm was originally founded by my grandfather in 1947.
Nice.
Jesse's great-grandfather. This is my daughter. And we've had animals on the property ever since. I was raised on a small farm up the road from my grandfather's. We had self-sufficient. We fed our family from our farm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Milk cow, pigs. Sheep, mostly sheep was my 4-H project animal.
Oh, how exciting. 4-H is so wonderful.
And then from there, I raised my kids. We only moved a mile. We bought land from my grandfather.
Yeah.
Original 100 acres we bought and
Awesome.
Started our own farm,
Nice.
Built a house, and I raised my kids doing the same, just self-sufficient farm, garden,
Nice.
our own beef cows, our own pigs. And then when my kids were in college, I decided to get more into the beef animals, downsized a little on the sheep, and started selling more to the neighbors and friends and family, and then it grew from there.
Awesome.
Currently have about 50 beef cows.
Wow.
We still have our other animals. We still have some sheep, chickens, self-sufficient things, but we do sell, and we really try to keep it to help the local community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
And luckily my grandfather did sell his land to, as he wasn't able to utilize it anymore for himself, he sold to all of his grandkids, and there were 22 of us.
Oh, wow.
I was fortunate. Out of the 22, I'm the only one that farms. So I was able to buy land from him over the years, and when I knew I was going to expand my farm, I bought another additional 125 from him and his barn and homestead. And then later I was able to buy some of my parents' farm too. So
that's special. Generational farms.
And our land actually was originally, where our farm is just up the road in Stark, was originally my great-grandfather's land as well. So, and we actually took up the sheep, and so we raise sheep, and my kids do sheep as a 4-H project now. So kind of continued on. So it's all kind of connected. Our land isn't directly attached, but we kind of operate under the same farm name as well.
And
awesome.
Luckily, I mean, over the generations, my grandfather had milk cows, but he loved land. He was a surveyor. And so he taught us the love for the land. My grandmother was a botanist, so she taught us and knew how to take care of the hay fields and how to respect nature.
That's important.
Yeah, my mom was, she raised the animals. She was the one who cared for and took care of animals, taught me how to love, but also to respect the responsibility of owning them.
Absolutely.
They're dependent on you, and if you're going to farm, you're going to be taking care of them.
Yeah.
My father loved equipment, and I love that I can farm, although I'm not strong enough to handle a lot of the bales of hay. We're all round bales now. I love the equipment for that.
So that's a game changer.
But unfortunately, I'm not a mechanic, and that's where my husband really comes in handy, because he's the mechanic, keeps the equipment running, and we never could do it without the equipment. So generations, and now I've got to pass it on to the next generation and grandchildren. So it's a full package.
Absolutely. It's so special. Thank you for sharing. Great. Can you describe your Climate Resilient Grant project?
So this specific project was designed to put in a larger solar project. So we put in larger solar panels, which were designed to actually make the entire farm operations be able to run off of, it's tied into the grid, but it's able to power bank and be able to run the operations not only at the homestead but also at the farm operations are able to run off of the solar. It also provided a battery backup with this project so that if we lose power,
which happens frequently,
often,
yes.
You're not losing the water heat to the animals or anything that could be kind of essential, especially if it's during meat cutting season. If the power cuts off and you have a cooler full of meat, that becomes an emergency. So having the opportunity to not only have battery, a way to run the cooler during a power outage, but have it be solar as well was like a huge. So that was the idea behind this project.
Awesome.
What I didn't mention was not only do we raise the animals and provide all the hay for them, we also process all the beef on our own. So we have a custom cut meat facility.
That's a big operation.
Yes.
So this year we processed 13 of our own animals, and then when we're done processing our own, we open it up to the public and do some other animals.
Oh, awesome.
So we do custom cutting there, and that's where the solar is helping provide the power that we need to run all the equipment, freezers, coolers, and cutting equipment.
Absolutely. That kind of leads us into the next question. So when do you hope to utilize the solar on your farm?
So since this was a grant funded project and all of that has steps that come along with, and you're working with other members of the community and everything, all of those steps taking place, the actual solar panels were installed and functioning as in October, which a lot of, all of the summer things have been done, and we're well into cutting season at that point. So it has been starting to be utilized already. Fully functional will be kind of more to see in 2025, because this was more of a, it is up and running, but through all the processes, it is being utilized, but probably not to its full capacity for this year.
Absolutely. So that kind of leads us to next year, like coming back, having another interview. Hey, how did things go? Like, let's get into some numbers. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that was good. So
yes, definitely. Thank you. So solar is super important today, with climate change. So how would you say it's improving your farm's ability to mitigate and adapt to climate change?
So I touched on a little bit already, was saying if there's a power outage, because that's a huge piece. But living in Coos County means that we have kind of weather extremes. So not only are we having the cold weather where we're relying on water heaters, so that because 50 cattle require a lot of water, and they can't drink out of the river in the winter. So and they're also in an area, so having the water heaters, and so you require more energy in the winter, but also in the summer you have the haying, and you need to be able to have the coolers going and everything. So there's both sides to it. So being able to have a renewable source of energy is a huge benefit.
Absolutely.
In order to and to adapt as time changes, and having this solar panels and, have less carbon footprint is a huge benefit as far as switching to solar and not relying on other energy sources.
The name of our project was Angus, which was fitting. Her husband came up with the name. And it's an acronym for adapting for future generations using solar.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So just kind of every step that we can to make a change to help adapt to cleaner energy has been a benefit.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. That kind of answered question 5 too.
Yes, a little bit. Yeah.
So with this project, I'm sure it was there could have been challenges along the way. What did you do when you were faced with challenges? How did you overcome those challenges?
So this system required being put on a pole, and the whole project, right from the start, we had a part of it doing the excavating. My husband did all the excavating and digging and pouring the concrete, and
farmers do it all.
That all went really well. But the biggest hang up was waiting for the rack to be delivered. That would hold the solar panels. So our project was supposed to be put in, we're starting it in May. Ted, please call your dog.
It's okay. We love animals. It's okay.
They are part of our farm.
They're working dogs.
Absolutely.
So we had to have the a special rack built to hold the panels, and the contractor